Hello, Jeremy.
Hello, Carmen.
How are you?
Very good.
Thank you for being in ABO.
My pleasure.
Happy to have you. So for the people who don't know you, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're the director of Over the Influence.
That's correct.
It's the gallery where we are now.
Absolutely.
On Wyndham Street in Hong Kong. And you're also the co-founder of Twenty Cinco. We'll talk about that later, but can we describe it as art advisory and art events?
Yeah, I would say that's a bit a singular place, but that's a mix in between a place for meeting people, but also sharing passion about art, selling art and exhibiting.
Yeah, it's funny because when I arrived in Hong Kong, one of the first parties I went to was there, and I didn't know you, and now here in Hong Kong you meet people the first time you come here and then years later.
But actually that was also one of the purpose of this exhibition and these parties, the idea of socialized and being able to meet each other.
Objective reached.
Thank you.
So Jeremy, you travel the world, that's the least we can say about you. And you've lived across so many different countries, in South America, in the United States, in the Middle East, in Asia, in Africa, where you spent
Many
8 years?
Yeah.
Many years?
Actually, I spent a bit more than 3 years in West Africa.
You settled in Hong Kong 10 years ago. It's the longest time you've spent in another country, like in a country to live without leaving somewhere else. So it's kind of a deep question, but what made you stay here in Hong Kong? Is it that you found your place here and you just feel good here so you don't see the need to move? Or is it also that it coincides with a time in your life where you're more settled and maybe I'm wrong, but maybe you're chasing less something else and you're not after something?
Absolutely. Well, I would say that it's a bit a mix of everything. I think there is not a better place than another one. There is only a lot of different places with different atmospheres, and nothing is better than something. There is no passion about a country. I've been to many countries, as you mentioned, and I wouldn't be able to say which one is my favorite. So Hong Kong is, I think, was the right place for the right time.
Yeah.
And when I was 20 years old, I was looking for adventure. I needed to be in danger. I needed to feel things around me happening and to discover things. So South America, Africa and Middle East were the perfect place for that. When I was 30, I needed to prove things to myself, and especially about business. So Europe and US were the right place for that. Hong Kong, when I was 40, was a right combination in between the two of them. So being able to settle with my family, getting opportunities about business, art in Asia Hong Kong is very important. So it's the right place for business as well.
But it's really a matter of timing, because maybe if you had landed here 10 years ago, maybe you would be somewhere else, right?
For sure, I wouldn't have stayed so long. But it's also a question of energy. I think Hong Kong can offer many different things, and it's not that easy to find a place you can mix lifestyle, business, family, and also something very important for a traveler is the open door to Asia. Yeah. It's a hub, and during the weekend I can jump easily on a plane. Last week we were in Cambodia, a few days before in Bangkok, and it's 2 hours flight, 3 hours, 1 hour, so easy.
When you were in Africa, when you were younger, so we had a long chat last time, and I was kind of intrigued because I don't know this region very well. I've only been to Tunisia,
which is amazing.
Yes, but it's very different, you know, the culture and the people. And you told me that their vision of life and death is very different from the Western culture. That, for example, they don't know the way they consume, the way they buy groceries is very different. they buy a spoon of
Oil,
sugar or one cigarette
yes,
or
2 squares of sugar.
Yeah, that's
cigarette,
very surprising to me because they think maybe, who knows, maybe next week I'll be dead, so I don't need to buy a whole pack of sugar. Okay, that's very intriguing. And has this changed your perception?
Yes, of course it did. Well, to be totally honest, I think Africa educated me and well educated me. I was coming from Paris, 16 district, which is a posh and a rich district, and discovering all this way of mind, this fragility of life. Makes the thing much more important. You know, there is you can be offered all the luxury of the world. There is nothing better than a glass of water when you're thirsty. You can have all the 5-star hotel of the world. There is nothing better than a 5,000-star hotel. The sky on your eyes. And I learned that in Africa to be able to enjoy very simple things. Always remember that once again life is fragile, so we have to enjoy it. And maybe also something that I was very away from before, which is patience. And things comes with time. And sometimes we need to be patient and to forget about your watch. Thinking that things will come. Many times I've been blocked on borders with custom or with police, and I couldn't pay the bakshish they were expecting, so I had to wait, to take tea with them, to talk, to spend the night sometimes on the border.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow.
And then things come. And then it's okay, it's perfect. So what you don't have, that's why I always mention traveling. The key of traveling is time.
It's funny. I was talking to a pastry chef the other day, and he told me that time is an ingredient in a recipe.
Interesting, absolutely. Yeah, interesting.
And have you kept some habits from your time in Africa?
Habit, I wouldn't say so, because since so there is so many things happen, and it's much more, as I said, I just mentioned, much more a way to look at things, to be more subjective and relative. You know, when sometimes I feel really upset, a deal hasn't been done as I planned to, or I don't know what could happen. I always remember that I have to be focused on more essential things.
Yeah, it's true that when a deal doesn't, go well, or just doesn't happen, the more I'm into this entrepreneur's life, the more I need to be patient as well, and I see that it's just another step to something maybe even better. Maybe you won't sell that piece of art because it means that tomorrow you will sell
something. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't work this way, it means that it should work maybe in a better way or in a different way, which will anyway bring you to something else. It's a mindset. And most of the time, it's the mindset of people open to what happened, opportunities and what happened. And this is also very linked, I think, to people who are traveling and who are used to move from a place to another one, to meet different people and to open their mind to what could happen.
Yeah, you see, I see it as a puzzle. If you force the...
Yeah, exactly.
It's wrong. Yeah, it has to be simple to work out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, I have a few quick questions for you. I haven't told you about this, so it's really fast and
okay.
Yeah. Okay, so first question: a country you've traveled to that challenged your beliefs?
Senegal, because I was 19 years old. It really changed definitely many things I had in mind before, and helped me a lot to understand much more about, humility, many things. Yeah.
A piece of art that particularly moves you?
I think that could be the bridge of Christo, the Pont Neuf in Paris. That was, I don't want to say something wrong, but that might be 1989, and the way it was a shock for me. I was a teenager, and I really remember that I passed by this bridge, and I was really amazed, and I would say this this art piece, yeah.
It's funny because it came up straight.
Yeah,
in
well,
your mind.
there is many. I'm living with art. That's my passion. But this meeting with, and I was a teenager, so I was building myself. Yeah.
Your favorite art event, art fair?
That's a bit more difficult because I think many of them get their different purpose to be there. If we mention Art Basel, I think it's very interesting, but it's very institutional. So I'm always amazed to see this masterpiece all together, but I'm always a bit frustrated not to see that much emerging artists. I like also to travel. It's always a good purpose to travel. So going to New York, LA, Miami, Paris to travel. At the moment, I would say maybe I used to be addict of La Fiac in Paris because of Le Grand Palais, which is an amazing place, and I love this idea of being connected with the sky. For now, I would say Art Basel Hong Kong. I'm here. It's a huge meeting for us, and I'm very happy to be part of it.
Yeah, and it's around the corner.
Absolutely.
An artist you admire?
I am very involved on all this urban culture and heritage. So we are here in front of art pieces from Vils, Liubolin as well as being part of his environment and questioning ourselves how we live with it. It's a bit difficult to choose. I think what is interesting is the globality of the scene.
And final question, your biggest deal?
Maybe art piece from Kusama. I don't know, in between Basquiat and Kusama.
Wow, okay. So the core of your business is to network with people, to meet new people around, well, a bit around the globe, we can say, even though you're based in Hong Kong. Last time you told me that when you arrived here, you met a businessman and art collector.
Yeah.
Randomly, you're not supposed to meet him. That's the magic of Hong Kong, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And since then, you kept in touch with him, made a few deals with him, kind of worked with him. And today, it's funny because we are in this gallery, and he's the owner of this gallery. Yeah. So I found it funny to see this. It's not a coincidence at all. But it resonates with your first year in Hong Kong, and now you're here. Is there any other encounter that changed your life?
Well, actually, many. I think I would say I'm a very lucky guy, meeting very, very important, interesting guy who helped me to make it. The owner of Over the Influence was a key meeting for me, and I'm very, very happy to be able to work with him, not to say for him. There is also Gilles Bourgeois, who is a very, very close friend, I would say even a family, a brother to me. We founded Twenty Cinco, and it's not only about business, it's not only about a professional way, but it's also a way to see, even if we are very different, a way to build each other. Maybe
that's why it works.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Complementary. This works for business, but I think that works also for friendship. Relationship is also a way to learn, to share, to see things differently, to understand, to be humble. There is many people. There is also the woman I love. I met in Hong Kong. Many people, of course, who count a lot and who are important to me here. Life is all about meeting, and not about only about business meeting, but about humanity.
Yes. Yeah. You didn't plan when you were younger to work in the art industry. You didn't. You were just willing to. You wanted to travel the world and go through from one adventure to another. And in Africa, you started selling pieces of craft pieces.
Craft and primitive art.
What difference do you see between craftsmanship and art?
Craftsmanship is something doing on purpose. It's more about skills to make something, most of the time I would say, efficient. Art is about emotion, about sensibility and feelings. When someone works on craft, he will knows what will be the final result. For the artist, that's the huge part. Even if he gets a direction, he knows where he wants to go. It won't be exactly what he was expecting.
Okay.
And that's maybe one of my favorite things on art is imperfection. I like this idea, the idea of you can't control everything, and whatever, even if you are on very technical, anyway you will need to have skills about technical, but it doesn't mean that there won't be any imperfection. I would say that may be the main difference in between both of them.
Okay, so for example, this is
actually this for me, to me, is art. First of all, it's not made to be repeated. It's a singular things, and as you can see, it's full of imperfection. You know, the idea was to follow maybe. I would like the guy who made it to be here because he would know better than me. But maybe the idea was to let his hand and the brain works without thinking too much about the perfect shape.
Whereas a craftsman would just make
well, I don't see one of them here, but an object which can be repeated to eternity, something which has been drawn before to be repeated as exactly the same. Craft is made to be not only useful but
beautiful, but useful.
Beautiful also is very important, because on contemporary art, beauty is not a target. Contemporary art is made for questioning, and that may be the worst compliment you could do to a contemporary artist is to tell him that his work is beautiful. He doesn't care about that. It's a good thing, why not? But that's not the purpose. For handcraft, that would be maybe more a target. That could be more a target.
Okay. And last week you were in Thailand.
Yes.
Can you tell a bit more about why you were there?
I was very, very excited to be in Bangkok last week, because we were welcoming Shepard Fairey, Obey the Giant. I don't know if you know this artist, but for me a big name, generational artist, who is very important to me, because actually I grew up with him. I was getting a print of Shepard Fairey in my room when I was a teenager. So being able to welcome him and to organize this solo show, which is called Golden Compass in Bangkok, for 2 months was for me a huge privilege, is for me a huge privilege. And also in Bangkok, which is a very dynamic city, which never sleep, which is perfect for me. For me was very interesting. Yeah.
And like, because art is it's a very special world. It's I touch a little bit on this with Magda. We were saying that it's in a way inaccessible, and it has its goods and bads. And so how do you let's say I'm an art enthusiast and I want to buy a piece, then what happens? Like, what should I say? You know, how to tackle this? Because you're in this world, so for you it's familiar.
Yeah, of course. There is many things. You know, that's the thing about art industry. It has always been a bit elitist, and you have to answer to code. And that's the worst thing for me, and that's why we have founded Twenty Cinco with Gilles, to open art to people. And the worst thing is that people most of the time get afraid of saying something wrong. You know, you don't want to look stupid asking for something about the art piece, or you're trying to understand. And especially when you go away from figurative art and you see abstract painting, what makes this one better than another one? So on this question is I would say the first thing is about your own energy and your own mind. And looking at an art piece shouldn't move you. Almost 90% of the time you shouldn't be moved by an art piece, and that's why it's precious. And I think the most often thing I meet is people who want to force them to understand or to feel something which is, I think, a mistake. Sometimes it talks to you, sometimes it doesn't, and that's cool. That's very cool with that, you know? You don't have to force anything. So that's the first thing. After that, it is true that looking at an art piece is also an exercise. And the more you exercise your eyes and your mind, and the easiest it is for you to know what you like and what you don't like and why. So I will always encourage and push people to go to museum, to go to art gallery, to go to Over the Influence gallery and to Twenty Cinco. Actually, to look at art pieces, because it won't be automatic, it won't be quick, but the more you will go, the more you will exercise yourself, and the more it will be easier for you to know where you want to go, what you like, and why.
And in terms of the evolution of artistic movements and trends, what do you see coming? Do you see trends coming?
I wish I could answer to this question. It would help for me to push customers to certain art pieces. But of course, we can see things and profile, and actually it is also part of my job to anticipate on what's happening and what will happen. There is something which is common to the art history, which is the link in between arts and society. Yeah. The movement of a society brings a movement of art. And we can see now that we are moving very fast with AI, with high technology. And I think this will push digital art, but not on what we have known till now, as it's an evolution. Digital art started in the 60s. So the digestion is long, and also technology moved, as I said, very quick. So all the pixel art, all the speculation about NFT is done. This has been regulated, but what I think is that we will leave place to an artistic way of expression with different tools, technology. I'm thinking, for example, about Obvious, which is a collective of artists using AI as brush. And this, I think, is coming now. It's been 20 years we're waiting for digital art to come. I think it's now time for this movement to come. There is a huge interest about communities and how people can live together. We've spent the last few years about very focused on African arts, but also all this woke culture. I think now we are going to push more about a way to live together, culture, and how we look at that. And that's maybe the main things I am focused on at the moment.
And on the other side, do you see a shift of what people are looking to buy, what they're looking for?
It's, there is few different profiles of customers or collectors. We welcome here people who think about speculation. They want to make money, and it's a good way for them to diversify and to invest. I have collectors who are moved by art. and they get an idea of what they want to collect because they know in which environment of art pieces they want to live with. And so it's another profile of customers who are more sensitive about the artist and the artwork. And we have to finish with people who come because they want to have a nice art piece in their living room.
Yeah.
So they are curious and they see and they look at that as a curiosity and they want to own it. It's 3 different profiles expecting 3 different things.
Okay. So there are things, for example, about digital art. Are there people that are more reluctant to that because for them it's not what they call art? You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Every time there is a huge movement in art history, there is people who are frustrated.
Yeah.
And that's good sign for digital art. As soon as the art industry is complaining, saying that it's not art, it means that it will come. It's art.
Okay.
And that was the same for Impressionism, for modern art, for post-war. Every time there is huge movement, people coming with new ideas, with new tools. It's always a revolution. People don't want things to be moved. So yes, I'm very confident that if art industry complains, and not all the art industry, part of them, it means it's good sign for digital art. It's very generational and cultural. So digital art is much more understandable for a guy who grew up with this technology and this idea. So of course all the people working around digital tools are much more attracted and understand much more than all guys.
Yeah. And can you talk a bit more about Twenty Cinco, because we mentioned it a few times. How did it happen?
Twenty Cinco is first of all the story of a huge friendship, the friendship of Gilles and I.
When did this project start?
Actually, there wasn't any project. We met with Gilles. It was just before COVID, so I think it was around 2019 or 2000, something like that. Gilles was used to welcome artists at his penthouse, at his flat in Sailingpoon. One of them left some art pieces. Latlas left some paintings at his place. Asking if we could find collectors to sell it. That's what we did, and we started like this because we sold it very well and very quickly to friends and collectors. Then other artists came to ask also. Then we started to invite more people, then more artists, then more people, and more people and more people. And so we finished, there was the exhibition welcoming around 300 people every time. It was very special because we were exhibiting, as you know, during the night. Yeah. So exhibiting from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. People were coming all over the night. And we were very, very excited because we were opening the doors to people who are not used to come to art galleries. This most of the time we had party animals, we have politics, we have finance, we have the neighbors. Everybody was there to share about art, to have fun, to listen music. There was live music on the rooftop. So it was a place of freedom, a place where people could meet each other. At the time, it was COVID time. At the time, it was not that easy to socialize and to meet people.
Yeah.
So yes, it's a huge...
genuine, very genuine.
Yeah. Thanks to Gilles also, who were totally involved on the idea of welcoming people and finding also interesting artists. I'm thinking so many, Theo Lopez, Raphael Slicks, many artists. We were so proud. Nasty, of course.
How did you meet Gilles?
I think we met each other during the night. You know, I'm living during the day and during the night as well. And I think we met a party, or we had a lot of common friends. So I think that's how we met the first time. Yeah.
Okay. And is it still running?
Yes, of course. We stopped the format of a night exhibition, but still following our artists. We get something during Art Basel at the end of the month. We will exhibit artists at PMQ in collaboration with HK Walls.
Okay, cool. And so what's the next big thing on your list?
There is many things actually. With Over the Influence, we have a huge agenda welcoming a beautiful solo show and group show. You will hear about it. At the same time, also working on a different way to exhibit with my business partner Sébastien Blondeau. We are also exploring a new way to exhibit and to educate at the same time, a mix in between education and entertainment. You will know also better about that, more about that later.
So from this, I guess it's very different from Twenty Cinco, but in both you want to open to a larger audience, right?
Yes. The idea, that was the idea of Twenty Cinco, but that's also, I would say, my personal fight on the art industry to make the thing easiest and more open to people. It's all about emotion. It's all about sharing. It's I think art should be really something, and that's why I've been so much involved on street arts, which was not a museum but in the streets. The idea of being able to share that to people, to everybody, is for me a key, important thing.
And finally, last question. You're the director of this gallery, but you're also a business owner. You're like a mix of many things. It's difficult to put you in a box, I think.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
I wish.
But I'm talking more to the business owner. Can you share a lesson that you learned that taught you something to share it with fellow business owners?
I would say that the best is not to follow advices. It's actually, the thing is that for me the key things which has guided many things in my life is believing in what you do, doing things by passion. And if I say so, it's because you will always find people around you to say why you shouldn't.
Because if you listen to people, you always have a reason not to do it, right?
It's actually, everybody get a good reason to something to say, and most of them are right. It's not a problem of the right or wrong. It's about what you have in you, and whatever, even the worst business of the world could be a success. When you go to pick up, when you need money to invest, you need investors. Most of them, you will see 99% of them bet on you more than on your projects.
Yeah.
If you believe on what you do, whatever your project, you will make it.
That's a very good way to end this episode. Thank you so much, Jeremy.
Thank you very much, Carmen.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.